Hello, my name is Leanne and I'm a speech and language therapist, and I'm going to talk about vocabulary and how we can help children to learn and remember words in a more effective way. So obviously children are learning new words all the time, particularly at school, with the curriculum. Lots and lots of new words being learned by our brain every day, as children and even as adults. Now, what I want to do is I want to talk about how we can help children to learn and remember, and then more importantly, recall and use these words more effectively in their written work or when they're talking. And I want to do this by thinking about how our brain learns and remembers words. So I'm going to try sharing my screen with you. Hopefully this will work. Bear with me, getting there. Okay, lovely. And if I can open this, we're getting there. Aha, brilliant. Okay, so hopefully you can see this. So the way that our brain learns and remembers words, our brain, if you imagine, is like a giant filing cabinet. And we need to help children to organise their vocabulary in a way that makes it easier for the brain to firstly learn it, remember it, and then recall it. So the first way that our brain learns and remembers new vocabulary words is by what we call their phonology, so the sound structure of a word. So how can we help children remember a word by using sound information? So it's really easy. It sounds complex and it sounds a bit jargony when you say words like phonology, but basically it just means sounds. So here we've got some nice prompts. So we've got what's the first sound, what's the last sound, how many syllables does it have, does it sound like another word, or can you think of a rhyming word? So instantly, if we're kind of thinking about how we can develop vocabulary in children and help them remember it more easily, if we simply go through the sound information of a new word, you're already giving your child a head start on how to remember that word. So I don't know, let's just take a simple word, let's say table, for example. So what's the first sound? And go for the sound, not the letter. So don't say T, T, T. It's the sound. So first sound in table is T, T, T. Last sound in table would be ul, ul. So not L, but again, the actual sound. So ul. How many syllables does it have? So how many bits does it have? And I do syllable clapping. Sometimes the word syllable can be hard for children, so I would often say how many claps does it have? So again, using that word table as an example, I would say table. How many claps was that? 2. Great, your turn. Let's say it together, table. And then you can think, does it think of another word, or does it sound like another word, or can you think of a rhyming word? I think just bear in mind, rhyme is very hard and is often a higher level skill. So I would say even if you did these 3 things, first sound, last sound, syllables, or the number of claps, you're already onto a winner. The second way that our brain learns and remembers words is thinking about the semantic information. So semantics basically means our knowledge of a word or the meaning of a word. So the more we can talk about what a word actually means, the more our brain will be able to store it and remember it and recall it much more easily. So you can talk about these different things. So what group or category does the word belong to? What other categories could it go in? What is it made of? What does it go with? Where would you see it? Who would use it? What is its function? What does it look like? What does it feel like? What does it smell like? So there's lots of lovely prompts here that you can use to ask your child to really secure that new word. So again, if we just take that example of table, so what group or category does it belong to? Well, it's furniture. What is it made of? It could be made of wood or of metal. What does it go with? It goes with chair, maybe. We could absolutely associate table and chair. Where would you see it? Well, maybe you'd see it in the living room, the dining room, at school. Who would use it? Everyone uses a table, really. You know, you might. I use a table for work. I use a table for eating. And what does it look like? What does it feel like? Is it hard? Is it, obviously a table is hard, you know, or what does it feel like? You know, really think about all these different bits of information, because the more semantics, the more knowledge you can provide about a word, the more easy it is to learn it and remember it. The last way that our brain learns and remembers words is through syntax. So this is basically means, how do we use it in a sentence? So if we've gone through all the phonology, the sound structure of the word, we've spoken a lot about what the word actually means, and now to help the child really get that word down, we're going to try and get them to use it in a sentence. So we could say something simple like, the table has 4 legs. I eat my lunch at the table. The table is made of wood. So just thinking about those things. So thinking about the sound structure, the meaning, and then asking children to put the word into a sentence is such a fantastic way to help children to learn and remember new and novel vocabulary. And I think this is evidence-based. It's how our brain learns and remembers words. And the more you can introduce new words following this formula, you're really gearing your children up for success at being able to remember all of these tricky words of the curriculum. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing there, and I'm going to say thank you for watching, for listening, and again, I hope you found it useful. Thank you.